Hey, what's up, guys? It's cold, dreary, nasty as hell. In other words, the perfect time to talk about Vortex.
Oh shit.
All right, now guys that watch my channel a lot realize occasionally I'll take a little stab at Vortex. Now there are reasons that I do this. Now I had a video come out a while back. Tons of guys were asking me to review the new Vortex Strike Eagle 5-25 by 56, and seriously, I was super freaking excited to try that scope out. But I didn't have the money to go out and buy one, and a buddy of mine ordered one. Long story short, he got 3 of them. The first 2 were messed up. One had a loose eyepiece, one had a stripped turret. Another buddy of mine got one about 2 weeks later. The reticle was canted almost 5 degrees, which guys that know what scopes look like know 5 degrees is a lot. It was like looking at a freaking X-Wing fighter when you look through it. He wasn't worried about it. He's gonna send it back to Vortex after hunting season and get a replacement, and I don't blame him. But the first guy sent his back twice to get replaced, and that seems to be a repeating theme that you're gonna hear in this video. Now, the first Vortex I ever saw, I was blown away by it. I looked at that freaking thing and I thought, man, this damn thing's as tough as Frank Gore. I mean, there's nothing that can go wrong with this thing. It was solid built, solid looking, great glass, perfect turrets. I thought, man, I gotta get me one of these damn things, and I did. Well, what I'm guessing is 20 years ago, that scope is still rolling fine. I ended up selling it to a good buddy of mine. I called him before I made this video. He said he's never had a lick of trouble out of it, and I don't doubt it. The original Vortexes were tough. I mean, tough as hell. But that may not be the case now, or that's not what I'm seeing. Now, Vortex has built their company around their warranty, which is cool. No matter what happens to a scope, they'll take it back. Your house burns down, you can find a piece of the turret, send it in, they'll give you a new scope. And that honestly is kind of unprecedented as far as the extremes they'll take on taking a scope back. You set your scope up, shoot it with a rifle, they'll take it back. Now, after a while, I'm sure they started taking a little bit of a hit on this. Now, they built this company around this warranty. So there's 2 things they can do. Take a financial loss, or they can lower the initial cost of the scope in the first place, what they're paying the companies to actually build it. By the way, Vortexes are not built here. One of their scopes is assembled here. The rest of them, they come from overseas, and the Strike Eagle comes out of China. Now, coming out of China is not necessarily a bad thing these days. They can build as good optics as anybody else, you just have to pay for it. But if you're just looking for cheap labor and maximum margins so you can keep everybody paid, China's the place to go. Now, getting scopes from China, the Philippines, Japan, wherever they get them, that's not a bad thing. To me personally, I would rather not buy something from China if I can help it, but it's not a deal breaker. I'm looking for good quality and the most bang for the buck. And when Vortex first started, I really felt like that's what they had going on. Today, I just don't think so. All right, let me run down some of the Vortex scopes that I've personally owned and bought with my own money. I bought a Vortex Copperhead, no longer available, for about $200. Solid as a rock, never had a problem out of it. Bought a Vortex Diamondback Tactical, and when those things first came out, I thought they were an incredible buy. As a matter of fact, I'll stand by my original video on that scope. The Diamondback Tactical I had, still rolling along fine. My cousin has it. He said he's never had a problem with it. I don't doubt him. He's real scope critical, but he also is like a lot of people out there. He's working within his budget, and he said he's never had a bit of trouble out of it. Now let's move up the food chain, some of the other Vortexes I had. I had a Vortex Golden Eagle, and it's an incredible second focal plane scope, or at least that's what I thought. Mine went back twice, and it never would hold 0. Now, I got a new scope every single time, but none of them would hold 0. Great magnification, great glass. I love the reticle in it, but it wouldn't hold 0, so it was useless as a target scope. My Vortex Viper PSD, the same way. It would not work. I mean, it tracked okay, but it didn't track like it was supposed to. I paid what I thought was a shitload of money, and it didn't work well. I could have bought almost anything for that amount of money that I know would have performed well. I sent that one back 3 freaking times, and I gave up on it and just sold the damn thing. I've got a video for a Viper HS. Now, that was a good solid scope. I sold that to a buddy of mine. He sent that in this year because he had issues with it. Now, these kind of stories go on and freaking on. If you'll look at my original video, you'll see a link below. Look at the comments. There's one guy in particular, his little shooting club, they bought a lot of 10 PSTs so that they would have enough so they could get their whole little club going. They sent 10 for 10 back. That is ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. Guys, I do not take myself that serious, but I do take seriously on my channel. I want to relay accurate information the very best that I can, because there are guys out there that may look at these videos and use my recommendations on what to buy. So for me, it's not a burden, but it's something I'm aware of, and I definitely do not want to let guys down. That's part of the reason I'm making this video. For me, guys, there's better ways to spend your optics money. Now, if anybody from Vortex ever sees this video, prove my ass wrong. Man, come up with something that is bullet freaking proof, that is not going back to the factory all the damn time, and I'll eat my words. I'll take these videos down, sure as shit. But until I see something like that, I'll stand by my original video, and I'll stand by this video. I think there's better ways to spend your optics dollar, period. Now, I want to clarify one thing. Some guys are going to think I don't like Vortex or I'm bashing on a company. That honestly is not true. I have met a lot of the guys from Vortex at some of the trade shows. I've talked to them on the phone more than I really wanted to, and you will never, ever meet a nicer group of guys than the guys that work for Vortex. And the guys that do work for Vortex, customer relation, their sales rep, all of these guys, I have nothing but respect for you guys. But somewhere down through there, the number crunchers have decided, let's start gutting it. Now that we've made our name, let's start gutting some of the quality out of these things, and let's start making more money. Don't get me wrong, they're not the first company to do this. A million freaking companies have done this, but they're the most recent ones to do it. And that's the reason that you just don't see very many Vortex videos on my channel. Here's a good example. My wife and I, we live a pretty modest life. She drives a Honda, I drive a little Nissan. Now, my Nissan, I've been driving it, put over 100,000 miles on it. It's never been back one time, it just runs like a top. My wife's Honda has been back a total of 7 times for freaking recalls, which Honda takes care of it. It doesn't cost a freaking dime, but it's a hassle. I want that car on the road. I want my scope on the gun. I don't want it going back to the factory all the damn time. It's just a headache I don't want. Once I set up, especially like a deer rifle, a hunting rifle, even a tactical rifle, once I get it, this is the scope I'm putting on this gun, but I can't rely on it. I don't need that scope. I don't need a chick that's gonna cheat on me. I don't need a car I gotta keep in the shop. And I don't need a scope that I can't keep on that gun that every year or two it's having to go back to the freaking factory, cross my fingers that the one I get back doesn't have the same problem or another problem I wasn't even aware of. This is something I think Vortex should address. These guys are geniuses, absolute geniuses. They built this gigantic dealer network. The margins for the dealer are big, bigger than they can get with any other scope line. Once they sell you the scope, they don't have to deal with you anymore. You walk out of that shop with the scope, they are through with your mud duck ass. Vortex will take it from here. So any warranty work, any problems you have, it goes back to Vortex. The dealer is absolutely blameless, and Vortex comes out looking like the big savior because they swoop in with the brand new shit. We got your back. They'll put their arms around you. The thing is, the thing they're putting their arm around you for is something that's supposed to stay on your damn gun. All right, guys, I'm gonna wrap this up. Now, I know there's gonna be guys leave a crap load of thumbs down and negative comments. There will also be a lot of guys in the comments below that will agree with every single thing that I've said here. And with Vortex, to me personally, from somebody that has owned a couple of hundred different scopes over the last 20 or so years and reviewed, I can't even tell you how many, there's better ways to travel. Guys, thanks for watching. Vortex fanboys, if this hurt your feeling, that was not my intention at all. I'm trying to let guys know what I have been seeing lately. It's a pattern, and it's something I'm seeing over and over and over from a scope company that's getting harder year by year to recommend. As a matter of fact, there's several of these scope companies, you won't even see their videos in my video catalog anymore because they gutted all the quality out of their scopes, and there's no way in hell I would ever ever recommend them to anybody anymore. And I hope that doesn't happen with Vortex. I don't think it will. They employ so many people. They have such a huge dealer network. And the fact is, the internet is instant information. When things start going bad, guys hear about it. Guys read about it. They go online, they look at the reviews, and that's what they see. But when you're looking at reviews, mine included, you shouldn't give my reviews any more weight than anybody else's. But if you're seeing a review, at the bottom of it, it says paid promotion included, and it's a Vortex review, and this is the same guy that's reviewing Olight flashlights, trying to sell them to you all the damn time. And guys, that every single review is a 10. They never have a 9 or an 8. They never have anything negative to say about anything. Take that with a grain of salt. There's a lot of reviews I've done over the last year that I found some negative stuff to. Some of the companies didn't like it. The really good companies, they'll take that as constructive criticism. They'll come back with something better and prove my big ass wrong, which is what I'm hoping Vortex does. But over the last 10 or so years, I spend more time swearing at them than swearing by them. Take it easy, guys.